At the heart of an abandoned crossroads, a blackthorn spreads its gnarled branches. The soil quivers, hollow whispers rising from below. A faint glow flickers near its roots. Every step echoes with old sins. What lies beneath this tree, and why does it guard the secrets of the gallows? Cold wind moves across an empty field, carrying a soft rattling sound, like dry bones tapping inside the earth. A pale branch rises from the darkness, thin and twisted, swaying even though the air is almost still, showing the shape of a blackthorn tree standing alone at a crossroads, its shadow stretching far across the old road. Someone has marked the ground beneath it, a circle of disturbed soil, as if something once tried to climb out. A faint glow appears near the branches, a light that should not be there. It flickers, then dies, then returns as a thin white spark. The scene cuts sharply before we see more, leaving only the question behind. What happened beneath this blackthorn? And why does the earth remember every step? Rain begins to fall, soft and cold. Footsteps approach the crossroads, slow at first, then stopping. A man stands alone with a lantern in his hand, and for a moment his breath freezes in the air. He whispers to himself, "I should not be here at this hour," but he does not walk away. His name is Rowan Hale, a quiet historian who studies forgotten rural sites. He holds the lantern with a shaking hand, trying to steady it. His voice is thin, almost lost in the wind, as he says, "Just one look, then I leave." He has walked this far because of a letter he found, a letter warning him about something sleeping under the blackthorn. He tries to calm himself by touching the rough handle of his lantern. His breath slows, and he studies the crossroads with careful eyes. The roads stretch into darkness on all sides, wet and silent, as if waiting for him to take another step. He knows the story's old gallows once stood here, and the blackthorn tree grew where the rope fell. He crouches near the roots, brushing away the wet leaves. Something about the ground feels wrong. It is too smooth, too disturbed, as if someone visited very recently. "Maybe I should go back," he murmurs, but he stays on his knees, listening to the distant sound of water moving through the hollow soil. The lantern light flickers. A sudden gust of wind pushes it sideways, almost knocking it from his hand. Rowan stands quickly, his heart jumping. He turns toward the road, expecting someone behind him. But the crossroads remain empty. Only the rustling branches answer him. He takes a slow breath. "It's only the weather," he says, though the shaking in his fingers says something different. He lifts the lantern higher and sees something carved into the bark, thin lines forming a symbol he does not recognize. It looks old, but not worn. Someone carved it with purpose. His eyes widen as he remembers the letter. It mentioned a mark placed to keep the earth closed. He steps closer until his nose almost touches the bark. The symbol seems fresh, the grooves sharp and dark. A sense of unease crawls over his skin. If the symbol is new, someone was here after the letter was written. He looks around again. The road glistens with rain, and the fields echo with distant thunder. He feels watched, though he sees nothing but darkness. "Is someone here?" he calls softly. His voice hardly carries, swallowed by the wet wind. The lantern dims again. Rowan steadies it by pressing the metal frame with his hand. A faint spark shoots inside the glass, like a thin pulse. "Not now," he whispers, fearing the thought of standing in total darkness beside the blackthorn. Lightning flashes far away, revealing a shape in the mud, a small wooden box, half buried near the roots. Rowan moves toward it slowly, kneeling again. He brushes the earth away with careful motions. The box is simple, handmade, with a rusted hinge on one side. Something inside rattles softly when he lifts it. He hesitates. His breath trembles. "If someone left this," he says to himself, "they wanted it to be found." His fingers press the edge, and with a soft snap, the box opens. Inside lies a folded page, old but still readable. The handwriting is thin and hurried. He pulls the paper closer to the lantern. The first words make him stop breathing. "Whoever comes to the blackthorn, do not disturb the soil." He looks down at his knees in the mud. He has already disturbed it. His heartbeat rises sharply. The rain falls harder, beating against his jacket, making the crossroads blur with silver reflections. He whispers, "What did I just wake?" The lantern hums again, the flame stretching upward as if responding to his fear. Another line on the page catches his eye. The tree marks where the guilty were buried without peace. Their last breath stays in the roots. Rowan swallows. He stands up slowly, holding the paper in one hand and the lantern in the other. The crossroads feels smaller now, like the darkness has closed around it. A soft thump comes from behind him. He spins. Nothing moves. Only the branches sway above him, shaking as if brushed by unseen hands. "This is not good," he mutters. His voice breaks slightly. He takes one step back toward the safer road, but his boot slips in the mud. He steadies himself, breathing heavily. For a moment, he considers leaving the box, the letter, everything behind, but curiosity holds him in place. He looks again at the blackthorn. Rain runs down its twisted branches like thin silver threads. He moves closer, searching the ground. Something glints at the base, a small metal hook buried in the mud. He wipes it clean with his thumb. It looks like part of an old restraint, maybe from the time the crossroads held the gallows. He imagines the scene hundreds of years ago, shouts in the cold morning. A wooden beam rising from the ground, ropes swinging. He feels a sudden sting of sadness for the people whose names are lost. "They didn't even get graves," he whispers. He steps back and touches the tree lightly. The bark is damp and rough, holding the cold of old winters. For a moment, he thinks of his father's stories about restless places, sites where the dead could not sleep. His father always ended those stories with a simple line, "Trees remember." Something moves under Rowan's hand. The bark feels as though it shivers, like muscle beneath skin. He pulls back quickly, almost dropping the lantern. "No, that can't be real," he says, but he feels the truth in his spine. The tree reacted to his touch. His breath becomes shakier. He takes a few steps away, holding the lantern like a shield. He glances at the paper again. A final sentence waits at the bottom, written in darker ink. "Do not let the roots open. Once they breathe, they remember the rope." Rowan looks down at the soil he brushed aside earlier. Rainwater gathers in the dip he created. The earth seems to move, not with the wind, but with something underneath. He feels a sudden wave of dread. The crossroads is no longer just a place, it is a wound. A faint sound rises from below. A soft exhale, like a breath pushed through wet soil. Rowan steps back quickly. "No," he whispers. "No, no, no." His lantern flickers violently, almost dying. He tries to run, but his boot sinks into the mud. He pulls hard, stumbling. His lantern slips from his hand, falling into the wet grass. The flame goes out. Darkness covers everything. Rowan stands frozen. Rain drips from his hair into his eyes. He whispers, "Please, not here." Something shifts near the roots again. A soft stirring that pushes the soil upward. The air grows heavy with cold. Lightning flashes again. For a moment, Rowan sees a shape beneath the tree, like the outline of a body curled in the mud. The flash ends, and darkness swallows the image, leaving only the sound of his own quick breathing. He bends down, searching blindly for the lantern. His hands shake as they move through the wet grass. When he finds it, he whispers, "Please work," and strikes the small metal wheel. A weak flame rises inside, trembling but alive. The crossroads appears again in the thin circle of light. Rowan steps backward as the shape beneath the tree becomes clearer. It is not a full body, only the impression of one, as if pressed from below. Rain washes over it, revealing the outline of a face. The earth seems to pulse, as though something inside is trying to take one more breath. Rowan's fear peaks, but something else rises with it, an unexpected sadness. He kneels again, not as a researcher, but as someone standing at the edge of another person's suffering. "I'm sorry," he says softly to the soil. "I didn't mean to disturb your rest." The rain slows, the pulsing fades, the ground settles, inch by inch. Rowan watches, hardly believing. The earth seems to understand his words, or his fear, or his respect. The shape beneath the blackthorn softens, sinking slowly back into the roots. The lantern glows brighter now, steady and warm. Rowan wipes his face with his sleeve, a small relieved laugh escaping his throat. It is not joy, but the simple relief of still being alive. The crossroads becomes calm once more. The storm passes overhead, leaving a thin mist drifting across the fields. Rowan stands up slowly, holding the lantern close. He glances at the tree again. The symbol on the bark shines faintly in the new light, as if acknowledging his presence. He looks down at the box and the letter. He kneels one last time and places the box back where he found it, pressing the soil gently over it. "Rest," he whispers. His voice is steady now. "I understand." As he rises, he feels lighter, as if the fear has shifted into something else, a quiet respect for the hidden stories of this crossroads. He turns toward the road and begins to walk, the lantern swinging softly by his side. Behind him, the blackthorn stands silent and still. No more shapes move beneath the earth. The rain falls in a soft rhythm, washing away his footprints. Rowan pauses once more and looks back. Lightning flashes one last time, illuminating the tree in a pale blue glow. He whispers to himself,
Some places remember, some places warm. His voice
Some
carries in the wind,
places warm.
a soft echo between the empty fields.
As he leaves the crossroads behind, the lantern light grows warmer, guiding him towards safety.
And somewhere in the quiet earth under the blackthorn, the roots hold their breath again, waiting for another visitor who dares to touch old history with careless hands.